How's it going, guys? I just wrapped up in the gym and that prompted me to make this video, which is really just talking about how to stay disciplined in the gym. I realize that could be really hard for a lot of people just to get a consistent cadence and a good routine going. And now at this point in my life, it's really just second nature and I don't even really think about it. And it doesn't take all that much effort either. But I remember 4 or 5 years ago how difficult it was just to get there consistently. So I wanted to make a video talking about what I would recommend and what has worked for me in terms of getting disciplined in the gym and getting that routine going, just to make your life a little bit easier and improve your overall quality of life as well. So my first big tip here is going to be the buddy system. And this is a huge thing that worked for me. Starting out in the gym, working with a buddy is just a really easy way to go about it. You get a good, consistent cadence going, and they're there to motivate you on the days that you don't want to go, and vice versa. Now, I know we're all not as fortunate to be living in a place where maybe we have good friends nearby or whatever, so I would also utilize just telling your friend what your goal is. Like, hey, I want to go to the gym 4 days a week, every week this year, and set that standard for yourself. If you don't have that person, I will gladly be that for you. You could even comment below in terms of what your fitness goals are for the year or just what you would like to start doing. And I think that's a really good way to hold yourself accountable. I feel like you have to say your goals out loud and tell other people, and that will really force you to just stay on top of what you're doing. When it's just you, it can feel very lonely. Trust me, I've certainly felt that way, especially when you're not seeing the results. So I think utilizing that buddy system is really just a great way to get into the gym and stay consistent. Next is going to be to set goals. And I would do this using the SMART goal setting acronym, so to speak. So use all of these metrics to set your goal. I personally, if you're just starting to get into the gym and a beginner, I would set your goals like to be really, really realistic. You don't want to set it overly aggressive. Like, I want to go 5 days a week and an hour each session. That could be really difficult to do, and you could very easily discourage yourself. I would start out somewhere easy. Like, it doesn't take all that much to slowly start seeing results. So I would say, okay, let's do 4 times a week and at least 20-minute sessions. So we're gonna do, 80 minutes a week, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then once you, it doesn't sound like much, but yes, it's achievable, it's measurable. Once you hit that goal, you just feel so much more empowered and better about yourself because it's easy to hit that goal, right? So once you hit that, then you feel more capable of over exceeding that goal, and you can set new goals for yourself in order to reach what your ultimate peak physique or goal is in terms of just health or feeling better mentally, anything like that. All right, my third piece of advice is to reward yourself. Whether that looks like a cheat day, I definitely indulge in a good cheat day. Whether that looks like buying yourself a new clothing item to stay motivated, because if you look good, you perform well, I would just be sure to reward yourself for the work that you're putting in. So let's say you set that goal to work out 4 times a week, 20 minutes each session, and you do that for a month straight. Go treat yourself to something nice. Maybe it's a new pair of shorts, whatever it is, you deserve it and you've earned it. But these are all things that are gonna feed you mentally in terms of staying disciplined and wanting to keep getting after it in the gym. So I would take that into account. And personally, that's something that has worked probably better than anything for me. All right, my next piece of advice would just be to get a good routine in place. So for me, I always just go to the gym first thing in the morning, whether I want to go or not, whether I'm sore or not, I get my butt there, and it really works for me. Now, if you try to go one morning and then the next day you try to go in the evening and you're just always going at different times and doing different things, I think it really complicates it. I understand life happens and you got to get your workout in when you could get it in. But if you could get a consistent cadence in terms of maybe same time of day, and then get your workout routine in place too, in terms of what you like to do when you walk into the gym. So I'm usually doing, the same set of workouts when I go in there. I'm pushing myself, absolutely. I'm trying to do more weight, but it's pretty much the core same routines, and that can take some time to develop. But nonetheless, I think building a routine and building a habit is super key to staying consistent in the gym. And that goes with anything in life. It takes about 28 days of consistently doing something to build a routine. So recently, I've tried doing cold showers to finish off my warm shower. I'll sit in the shower for a minute and do a cold shower, and it's brutal. I absolutely hate it, but every time I get out, I feel really good. And after about 3 weeks or so, I started to realize that I didn't even think twice about it. I just turned the handle, boom, cold shower, and we're done with it. To whereas before, it's I'm thinking about it, I'm sitting there, I'm dreading it, and it just takes time to get over that mental hump and just give yourself that time and really focus on getting to that like 28-day mark where that habit really just becomes second nature to you and you don't even think about it. Last but not least is going to be to work towards like big trips. This is something that has worked extremely well for me. So for example, I have a big Italy trip with my girlfriend coming up this summer, and that has been just an extreme motivator. I know I want to be looking good and feeling good on this trip when we're in the Amalfi Coast, wearing swimsuits, all of that. So that's something that really works for me and just tricks me mentally in terms of staying motivated in the gym. Now, I understand like we're not all going on big Euro trips and things like that, but whatever. Maybe it's a weekend vacation trip to the beach, or maybe it's like a wedding you have coming up and you want to look good, or maybe it's high school reunion, which scary enough is kind of coming up for me, so that's freaky. But you get what I'm saying. Like these social events, these little things, like at the end of the day, we don't care what people think, but I want to look as best as I can. And I think these are like really good ways to kind of trick yourself again mentally in terms of why should I be motivated right now? Like it's, you know, it's the middle of February, it's really cold, but in 3 months I have a huge trip. So let's work towards that. Let's focus on that and achieving these goals because of this fun thing that's coming up, and I want to feel the best I can and show off to the guys or whatever it may be. So these are just things that have really, really worked for me. None of this is meant to be as like a brag or anything like that. I find this to be probably the most overwhelming part of going to the gym and seeing those results and getting ultimately like the body and physique that you've always wanted. So at the end of the day, I think the cool thing about it too is like it's ongoing, it's ever going. But once you're into it, like it just becomes second nature, and you'll never really be able to imagine your life without going to the gym. Like now, if I don't go to the gym one day, I feel like off mentally. I notice it, like it just really changes your life overall, and that's the reason I wanted to make this video. So overall, I hope you thought it was helpful. If you did, please throw a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I'll include some of like the supplements that I like to use as well below in the description. But again, any questions you have, please throw those below. I'd love to answer them and help you out in any way possible. Other than that though, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.